Well, tonight, the McFarland Planning Commission voted on whether to turn 2 prisons into ICE detention centers. 17's Karen Hua was there for the controversial decision and the heated protests. Karen?
Well, hundreds of protesters flooded McFarland City Hall today to rally both for and against the detention centers. But ultimately, the motion failed, 2-2, with one commissioner absent.
Our GO, no one can be prouder. If you can't hear us, we'll shout a little louder.
ICE detention centers. Do they belong in McFarland? That's the controversial question at hand.
The main concern that families have expressed is just the ability to live in this community in peace, right? Where they are not afraid to take their children to school, where they are not afraid to even just do their bare necessities. And it's something that with expansion of a facility, we are not able to guarantee.
The GO group wants a permit to turn 2 private prisons in McFarland into ICE detention centers. The company is the second largest employer in the city. It already operates Mesa Verde Detention Center in Bakersfield with 400 beds, and it hopes to add more than 1,000 in McFarland.
You want GO?
Listen to them.
Supporters say these detention centers would bring jobs and economic development to McFarland. The city is already at the brink of bankruptcy, with no fire department and only 5 cops. If the city cannot find a financial solution soon, the county of Kern will have to take over.
The protesters are demanding that these people lose their jobs. At the same time, putting our finances at risk at the city of McFarland. As it is, we're struggling. We're in deficit spending. That means we may or may not be able to provide police, fire, our ability to provide adequate water and sewer and refuse services.
They're good paying jobs. That's something that most of your smaller cities here in central, California and in the high desert area where we're from, there's not a lot of those. People can buy houses, the economy can flourish.
On the other side, critics say the GO group wants to capitalize on McFarland's financial vulnerability, and it would only profit from separating immigrant families. McFarland is 95% Latino. Many have loved ones who've been detained. At this meeting, almost every word was translated into Spanish. But some say having a detention center in McFarland will at least keep their loved ones closer to home, instead of having to travel further to visit them.
This company is trying to provide a location for these detainees to be closer to home. And these employees are good people from this community. They're law-abiding citizens. And they have every right, in my opinion, to also demand that they keep their jobs.
There's a legitimate concern. I think there's a moral issue here that it's a debate, jobs versus peace and tranquility of your neighbors, right? And I think it's a tough decision, but I think that this city should be listening to the majority of the people who are saying that they don't want these types of facilities, period, in their communities.
Now, with this vote, that means the GO group must be out of McFarland by May. The McFarland Planning Commission will hold another meeting on March 17th. I'm Karen Hua, 17 News.